they lost their due diligence money and they were mad. Let's knock out this little real estate lesson before my open house starts. At this beauty, I don't think she ever touched this home while she lived in it. This is 2256 Lakeside Circle. The backdrop of this lesson about how to propose to a seller is an email I got from a dear friend of mine, but God love him, sometime men speak and man speak, and so I'm just gonna take out all of the exclamation marks and the angry face emoticons and just boil this down to a conversation about due diligence money versus earnest money, because it's not very well understood. And once you know how they work and how to use them tactically on both the buyer and seller side, you can have more success with your offers, okay? So, the email said, well, after I translated it, the email said, he had a friend who had a house that was under contract, and they had put down earnest money and due diligence money, and if you've ever filled out a contract to buy a home, you've seen these lines. And then it fell through for whatever reason. There's so many reasons why homes fall through, but it fell through and they lost their due diligence money, and they were mad. So he asked me, is that right? Can they just keep that? Can the sellers just keep the due diligence money? Well, the answer is yes. And I know that that might seem unjust, but there's a good reason why due diligence money is in this equation. So let's go through the difference.
Okay, fine, I'm cool, I'm fine.
Earnest money is a demonstration of earnest that you will follow through with buying the home. So it's a show of good faith. So people put whatever number they want, 500, 1,000, 1,500, and it's saying that in the due diligence period, that period of time where you get to like snoop around the house, see if you love it, that during that time, if something happens, if the inspection report is wonky, if something's not working on their bank side, if they, I don't know, I mean, anything can happen. They get divorced, one of them wants to move across the country, it doesn't matter. Whatever happens in that due diligence period, they can get their money back. So it's a show of good faith, but it's not really a whole lot of skin in the game. This is what most people put down on a house, knowing that they can get it back. Then there's due diligence money, or what I will call DD money through the rest of this video. And due diligence money is non-refundable from the moment you hand it over. Okay? It is the equivalent of, as my girl Beyonce said, of if you like it, put a ring on it. To demonstrate this, because I don't like jewelry, do you have any idea how difficult it is to open a ring pop? No, to find a ring pop. Just imagine a grown woman. I have driven around all of New Hanover County, stopping in Walmart and Target, every gas station. I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, do you have any ring pops? No, I don't want the whole box, I just want one. Why? Because I've had a horrible week. Do you have any ring pops? No. Okay, this is the equivalent. So due diligence money, whenever you hear due diligence money, what I want you to think of is it's like an engagement ring. And this oddly fits me perfectly. And it matches my hair. Due diligence money is your way of getting before the seller and opening up that box and saying, I am so serious about this house that I am willing to risk this thing of value, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that this house closes. So ladies, you hear me on this? It's the difference of when a man asks you if you want Netflix and chill, earnest, like an effort of good faith, but not really, because you came to watch that movie and then you don't even get to watch the movie. Anyway, there's that, and then there's when he puts a ring on it, and that is saying, I am in it to win it. In it to win it. And if something doesn't work out, if he, I don't know, finds some other thing that he wants to talk to more than you, what do you get? You get to keep that ring. You don't get that back, okay? It's saying how serious that you are. So when you are a buyer and you see that line that says due diligence money, that's what you're saying to the seller, is this is how much money I'm willing to risk that I know I'm not gonna get back, that I am not going to get back. All right, so why does that matter? Well, think about it from the seller's side. From the seller's side, Let's say you have several offers on the table, and right now in this market, that's like happening a lot, right? So you have all these offers. Well, let's say that they're all for asking price. Well, these, they put earnest money down, but they didn't put any due diligence money down. And then this one put $1,000 due diligence down. They're all saying they're going to pay the same amount. Who are you going to pick? You're going to pick the person who is saying, I am willing to take a risk to make this happen. And I'll tell you, I have seen it, especially lately, when multiple offer situations. Just saw one 2 weeks ago. Plenty on the table, and then one of the buyers offered $3,000 due diligence on a home that wasn't even that terribly expensive for the area. Well, which one did the seller go with? The $3,000 due diligence, because that told her that they were going to work through any issues that came up. And that's what happens once you're under due diligence. Issues happen. The seller wants to know that you are going to work through them. All right, so think about it tactically. If you're a buyer and you're trying to make your offer stand out, well, that's kind of where due diligence money can help you out. So if you've been making offers and they've not been getting accepted, well, these mean a lot to people, both the real ones and the DD ones. I mean, not to me. I would rather set myself on fire than get married, but I'm using language that I've heard from other women. That said, as a home seller, I made sure that I would not accept a contract that did not have due diligence money because I want a serious buyer. Now, when I explained all this to my dear man friend, so eloquently, so concise, it was beautifully worded, he wrote back and he said, well, I bet those sellers are real happy that they just made all that money for doing nothing. Whoa! Whoa! This is what a lot of people think that that's the case. No seller on planet Earth is trying to make money off of due diligence. None. Sellers make money when they sell their house. No seller wants the house to fall out of contract. Yeah, they get to keep the due diligence money, but now what happens? Now the house has to go back on the market, and what happens psychologically when a house falls out under contract and then is back for everybody to see? What does everybody actually think? What's wrong with that house? There's probably nothing wrong with it. A lot can go wrong. Somebody can get tripped up on the financing. Maybe they just didn't like the color blue. There's no telling. But everyone always thinks there's something wrong with the house, and that's why it fell out of contract. No seller wants that rep anywhere near their property. They just want to sell their home. So the DD money is not some sneaky way for sellers to make bank off the backs of buyers. No. DD money is like an insurance policy to separate out the buyers who aren't that serious. It's exactly what we do with men. Again, not me. Never me. I'd rather have the candy, or I'll take the ring and I'll pawn it and take myself on a vacation by myself. So whether you are on the buyer's end or the seller's end, due diligence money is there for a reason, and you can use it tactically to get what you want. If you are on the seller side, it's a way to suss out people who may not be that serious about buying your home, and to eliminate some of the risk that you're taking of taking your home off the market for that buyer. You just want someone who is totally serious, right? And on the buyer's side, it's your way of opening up that ring box and presenting it to the seller and saying, I am ready to do the damn thing. Oh my God, it's the sour kind.